Well, many congratulations, Team Qala. And I watched the film, absolutely loved it. So, Anvita, I'm going to start with you. And I know you were one of the sole female lyricists. Also, this is a kind of ode to the way back in the 40s, Devika Rani, Saraswati Devi, and Jagdan Bai for that matter. Somewhere was it to do a lot with you being a lyricist and trying to find your place in, this industry?
I think it did play a part, but I had it a lot easier than Qala. And I was loved and received and found my place in the sun, as does Qala, in fact. But it was also to do with the fact that regardless of which world you set it in, for a woman to own herself up, completely is hard because of our conditioning, because of how we are trained to be a partner and not an individual.
Yes.
So I think somewhere that, and of course the world of, like new theater, that kind of world lent itself to this kind of a story. Having said that, it was also to drive home the point that nothing has changed. So it was that.
I do get that. So, Tripti, I may want to ask you, from Bulbul to Qala, what is the method to the madness working with Anvita? Please tell me.
Working with her is always, always special. And I think I would give up on anything, just to get an opportunity to work with this person, because it's just, a positive set. Everything you do from day one to the end of the shoot, you're just happy going to work. And that, sometimes that happens, that when you're working continuously for a month or 2 or 3 months, and when we work with Anvita, that it's like 3 months is only for workshop. And then after that the shooting starts. And after that, and how she is as a director, she lets you get involved in everything, whether it's the costume meeting or the production meeting. But it's just that when you're doing this for a long time, you do at times feel like, oh my God, this is getting tiring, and I don't want to go today, can I get a break for one day? But you don't ever feel like that when you're with her, because every single day is full of like the happy surprises. Every day you get to learn something new. Every day you get to meet interesting people. Every day you get to learn more about the character and the story. So all of that feels very special, and especially on set. Like, I've said this before and I'm going to say this again, because I've heard this only about one director, which is Clint Eastwood. Wow. And the next one is Anvita Dutt. Her set is so quiet that it gives us actors space to do so much. And we are just free as actors on her set, where we can just express and just be ourselves and free to experiment. And that is something that you rarely get.
Wow. Tripti, now tell me, Bulbul was heavy or was Qala heavy? Because Bulbul subject, and I said like, hey, wait a minute, Qala is heavier.
No, actually, for me, both of them were heavy because when I started off with Bulbul, I was really young. I was just 23 and I didn't know a lot about acting back then. Yeah, I was, shit, have I revealed my age? So I was really young and everything felt new. The process, did scare me at first, but then it just, slowly with time, I got used to it. And there were scenes that were difficult for me, but as I've said before, the team made it easier for me. And Qala, it is complicated. Every day on set was, it came with its own challenges. But, when you're working with people like Anvita or Swastika or Babil, you just don't focus on those things, because I think everything that you do is going to be difficult. I'm not saying that Laila Majnu was not difficult, or the other films that I've done were not difficult. Everything is difficult because whenever you're playing a character, you're playing someone who's actually very new to you. You have to change yourself in and out, and it's a different person. You have to think differently. You have to believe in everything that the character believes in. It's just that a lot of the times we call, whenever something like this comes up and we say, oh, this is a complicated character. But just by calling it complicated, we complicate things for ourselves. So I think we should just look at everything as, we should not call them complicated or complex. I think everything is equally difficult. It's just that you have to pull out different emotions for different characters. And yeah, that's about it.
Okay, now let me he doesn't like to be called the debutant, but anyways, Babil, I could have easily shut my eyes and it could have been your dad talking to me, because a lot that you said was things that he had told me in the past when I told him, Hollywood mein debut ho gaya. He says, debut nahi, main sirf experience le raha hu. It does not matter what my role is. I was listening to your interviews and for a moment I had to do a double take as to who am I listening to. So I'll ask you the obvious question. Qala, I mean, why did you choose this as the perfect film to showcase your talent?
Firstly, it was never about showcasing anything. I just knew that finally I had to take the first step into following my desire and my passion, which is acting, because I had been extremely scared of admitting that I wanted to be an actor because of who Baba was. Yeah, of course. There's this whole story behind that, which I'll get into later. But there was no thought behind it. There was really, really no thought behind it. I went to audition and just the human connect I had with Anvita, it was all about that. And after that, after me and Anvita just kind of synced, I thought there was no other way. I just knew that I had to do this. And then for the first time when I met Tripti and we just bonded like that, it just felt like home, it just felt like home. So when you get the right feeling, then I don't think there's any need for thought, so I just did it. That's it.
Where there's a lot of anticipation, na? Babil.
What? Anticipation?
Na? A lot of anticipation regarding your first.
Well, I can't do
I'm not pressure, but I'm just saying, are you aware of that?
Yeah, I'm aware of that. But also I'm here to grow as a human being and grow as an actor, and I that's all I'm here to do. So if it takes time and as Tripti said, the goal is to be a lamba race ki ghodi. So ghoda, I'm a ghoda. The goal is to be a lamba race ka ghoda.
Ghodi mat bana ghoda.
But yeah, like I'm here for the long run, and I want to grow as an actor, and I know there'll be ups and downs and highs and lows, and I'm here for it all. So awesome. Let's go. Are you ready? Okay.
Can I tell you first, the frame in the film reminded me of a dad in The Namesake. So I just wanted to tell you that that's the imagery that came to mind.
But I just want to say one thing about the voice. Anvita, when we went for dubbing, she knew I could do it. Like, I didn't know I could go that low and like speak from the the bottom of my stomach. It takes something out of you. But Anvita knew I could do it, and she was the one who pushed me again and again. I kept doing in the dubbing, and she it's like lower, and then we both kind of got into this meditative state in dubbing, and we were able to achieve that voice. But I didn't know I could go that low, and I didn't know, especially at this age and with this much energy and excitement, I didn't think that I could, go there. And Anvita took me there, and now I know that I can go there. So, yeah.
Awesome. The set sounds like poetry in motion, literally. And Swastika, absolutely loved you because your character was just emoting through her eyes and her facial expressions. And, having said that, that's someone who is truly a pan-Indian artist here. And also, you come from a film family. How have you also, somewhere your character is also navigating that? Did you draw upon from personal experiences in playing the character that you are?
I think amongst all of my co-actors sitting here, I am one lamba race ki ghodi. And they all want to run the long way. I am running. Already.
That
The more you run, the more experiences you have in your life. And I feel whenever we are playing a character, any character, we always draw from our own experiences and the different stages of life that we have gone through. So yes, I with Anvita's vision and all the conversations I've had with her, and I kind of had the confidence that I can bring Urmila on screen the way Anvita wanted to. And yes, I that anxiety and I felt that Urmila looks so calm and quiet and sorted, and like she's in a Zen mode, and she really knows what she wants to do and what she doesn't want to do, and she's this stern, strict person. But inside her, there's so much of chaos, so much of trouble and turmoil, and she never expresses that. But we all go through that point in our life when so much is going inside us, but our demeanor is very calm. Like I have a lot of times wanted to hit people, like I was like, thank you, okay, see you later. But in my head, I knew I was standing with a hammer. Like I had become Langra Tyagi or somebody like that,
Langra
vengeance in my head.
Athoda Tyagi.
So I feel you all, as you age, you always pick up things from your own experience and you try to put them in the real space in front of the camera and make your characters very believable and with very raw and real energy. And Anvita really told me that this script is not verbose, like even for Tripti and Babil and myself, people are really not talking a lot.
Yeah.
Everything that is going on inside our mind and our heart, it's just the eyes and the face that is doing the talking. So my eyes did a lot of work, I think.
they showed it. Anvita, was how you draw. Like when I saw the female photographer, it took me back to Homi Veerbala, who was the first Indian press photographer. She had photographed, everyone from Jacqueline Kennedy to Pandit Nehru. Also, the thing is, a lot of women there, and like Tripti's character Qala has a female driver and a secretary. Back in the day, ye sab nahi socha hoga. How, and also you have said a lot without having to state it because through the imagery. So I just want to understand what was the process, the method to your madness.
So I think when I was writing it, of course, I knew about Humay, and there were so many women who were working women. There's so many people that I hear about who were professors and poets and writers, It's just that they are not talked about. The numbers were so few, and even now the numbers are pretty few. I've been called a female lyricist, and then a female writer, then a female director. So it's always been that itne ginti mein itne kam hai ki dikhte nahi. So I just wanted to shift focus to them and said that there were women who were working, who were breadwinners for their families, who were ambitious, who had dreams, who would rise above where society wanted to slot them, like Nasiban's character, which was totally inspired by Jaddan Bai and Saraswati Devi. These were very wonderful, powerful, talented women. We just don't talk about them often enough, So I wanted to tell a story populated by these strong women, by these interesting, strong, yet fragile women who were trying to find their place in the sun even then. And so yeah, there was that. It wasn't done as a let me do that, but very naturally in the writing, maybe because I am a woman, it just came in. I wanted to sing their songs,
And, I'm not kidding you. The first frame, I always judge a film by the first frame. If it can get me, I will see through it. Because, the OTT space has given us that thing. I have gripped because I think it was your color palette. It was just the way it started. I was like, I have to see this through the end, literally. So thank you. And before I come to the other two ladies, I want to ask Babil. Babil, what was it like to be a man in this world inhabited by women?
Not like I don't think it was about being a man or woman on the set. It was just being human beings together and being real together. And I think that was very beautiful. I don't think there was any distinction or like any I don't know, like it was, there was no difference. Everybody was
that had very strong females. Whether it was Kareeb Singhal, whether it was Piku, whether it was Namesake, his movies had very strong female characters. And this was a conversation I keep having with him too. And he used to tell me, ye hero hai, main sirf inka aage badha raha hu narrative.
Yeah. I mean, okay, I don't know if that's what it, see, when it started, when there was a little desire in me, okay, when I chose as in when this film felt right, but it was not a part of the decision making. When it had happened, when it had already felt right, I was extremely happy and joyful that I am starting my journey with a strong female lead character directed by a strong woman, and this female lead is, now I've started to realize after spending so much time with them, and that the fact that I have to say female lead or a female led film in itself is a tragedy. And I have started to realize that. But yeah, it was nothing. It was not a factor in the making of the decision. It was just that it gave me a lot of joy just to be a part of that and to be, just watching Tripti absolutely kill this, and to be a part of that world, I was just really happy for that, and it gave me a lot of joy that I was starting my journey like this and in this way. But it was not, and nothing like, it was key, oh, that is why I made this decision. No, the decision was made when Anvita hugged me for the first time and I came in the office. That was it.
Oh,
Really,
so,
really. I am really, I am being extremely honest.
no, and that's
always feeling jealous of that hug now. I've heard
Me
it.
too, I was just going to say that.
oh,
Really, Anvita, you're going to give that hug to us.
and Tripti would even know
How much I hug you, Mishtu? Don't lie. It is that. It's that hug. That hug you want. The one that he got. Okay.
हमने जंग
But Anvita has a very special skill because she's extremely good at gauging people without knowing them, right? So she she treats everybody in a slightly different way as to how they need to be treated. Like, that's a very special skill as a director. Like, what I am going through in life, or what Tripti is going through in life, what Swastika is going through in life, Anvita will know and give them the love accordingly. And I think that's a very special skill to have. And I would like to have that skill as I grow older.
Therapy mode. Therapy.
are going to be the envy of everyone. Itna sara pyar. But, also this film makes a very pertinent point about mental health and, the anxiety, about life in the spotlight, about where Babil's character actually tells Qala that मैं अपने लिए गाता हूँ. Here she is singing to get validation from her mother. I just like those aspects were so beautifully weaved in. So Swastika and Tripti, I want to ask you, since both of you are actors, I mean, Swastika has been here longer and, a body of work, and Tripti is just starting out. How has it been? There would be a certain similarity in the struggle also as artists to get that validation, and there would be some differences too. So I just want to ask you both about that.
Of course there is. When I started off acting, I think I never wanted to be an actor at first. I never thought that I could act, But I think it's to do with what I've gone through as a child. in my school, nobody used to, for the longest, talk to me. And, and Qala, I said this in the film, I used to feel invisible a lot of the times in school, or I was a very quiet kid, never used to share much with parents. And, I have 2 siblings, so it was anyways a big family where parents could not give a lot of attention to one kid. And I was anyways the middle child, the middle child syndrome. So I think the reason for me to get into acting or to do something different, and I was never good with studies. Like I was like, padhai likhai to nahi karni hai. I am not made for that job, and I was clueless. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life, and I don't know how. Just I think God showed me this way, and this just happened. And I think initially when I was in Bombay, it was a very difficult phase. I was going through there were a lot of insecurities. There was a lot of fear. I wanted to constantly prove a point to I don't know who. And I've come to realize now that I think I was doing all of that to prove a point to my family and to, all those people who ignored me when I was a kid. I wanted to, maybe show them that I can, I am not too bad. I can, if I'm good at something, I'll be very good at it. It's just that padhai mere liye nahi hai. So I think it does play a part. And I think with time you get to kind of deal with it and grow from it. And I think it is important for everybody. I'm sure everybody has gone through that in some or the other way. And it is important because it is what makes you grow as a person. That is where the growth is. And yeah, I feel that's how.
Swastika, you grew up life in the spotlight. I mean, you came from a family of actors. So what was it like for you? And then you became an actor yourself?
I feel, we have all grown up watching women all around us who have always given up their dreams and whatever they wanted to do in their life after getting married or after having children. I'm sure if my mother was asked this question, she could give a long list of what she wanted to do. She was an amazing singer. She knew how to play, 4 or 5 musical instruments. She was very good in studies. So I'm sure if she got the opportunity, she would have done something more with her life than to just be a homemaker. She was absolutely fantastic in that as well. Like I really needed to search for my ATM card pins after my mother passed away. I did not even know that. And I used to go to the market, for shopping and buy things with my card and call my mother and ask, what is the pin? That was the level of dependency because she took care of everything. So she was, amazing in that as well. And it was not really, like Tripti said, that I did not know since a child that I will become an actor. And my father, even though he was in the film industry, but he always treated his workplace as his office. And when we were in school and we said that we really want to go to the studio or go with you when you're going for shoot, he always said that, are your friends traveling with their father or their mother to their offices? So this is my office and you don't need to come here. So until and unless I started working, I think I had just once gone to pick up my father from the studio because we were going for some wedding or something. So our family, we were like kept really far away. We did not see filmy parties happening at our place or, parents coming back late home at night from parties. That was not the space we grew up in. And I was a mother already and I was studying in college. And I thought for everything, I'm asking pocket money from my parents. And it was kind of irritating me. And a television series was being made and they were auditioning in the university for their lead characters and their supporting roles. And I auditioned and I just got through. And I thought that, definitely this is not my cup of tea. And I'm just doing it for the sake of having money, pocket money, which I can spend in shopping and I can go wherever I want. And I don't need to walk home. I can take a taxi or something like that just to be comfortable so that I don't need to ask for money from my mother. I started. And then I saw that people were really writing very, very bad things about me because I was so bad at it. I mean, media had just thrashed me in all possible ways. Taking my father's name, that Shontu Mukherjee's daughter, is like bad as bad can be. So then I was like, बहुत गाली पड़ रहा है हर जगह से. So let me just, try to take things seriously. And I started really working hard and made my father watch all the terrible acting I was doing and started taking tips from him. And then, the journey started. And my only aim always was to better myself at my craft and become better than my last work. And I think after Qala, it will be really difficult to do something better. But I feel really good that I am a part of a film which is placed in 1930s and 40s, but we as women of 2022, we are still facing the same issues and same problems and fighting the same war. We still really have to be answerable if after marriage or after having kids, we say that, I want to follow my dream and I want to pursue my career and I am an ambitious woman. It's still looked down upon. I mean, a woman saying I want to, do my, be focusing on my career and I want to prioritize my work life and I also want to take care of my family. We still look at them with very judgmental eyes. So I think the story, as Anvita has told before, that she's telling the story of today, but she has just placed it in a different era where women were telling the same stories even then.
I know. And as I said, we need more men like Babil in our lives. And jate ek sawal. If you could meet one person from that era, who would it be? All four of you. Or anyone from the past you would want to meet and have a conversation.
I want to meet Sanjeev Kumar. And
Brando.
That's not that era. Bichara Sanjeev Kumar.
It's okay, still, please. Can I get 10 years off? Just 10 years.
I would love to meet Devika Rai.
I was, and what an enigmatic personality. Yeah? I mean, she really was a badass.
I would want to meet Jawaharlal Nehru because he's such a good-looking man. So person.
Actually, he had movie star looks. Anyways, thank you all so much. Thoroughly enjoyed the film. Anvita, I can't wait for your next. And it seems to be like a story being told. So I'll be just wanting to know which is the third one. All the very best. And Babil, good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
With Devita.
Yeah.
Thank you all of you. Pleasure talking.
Thank you.